Mo ancora si senza la mate.
Perché mi trovo
Vabbè, io sto con la stage lo va con il caso sto qua, sto qua, ho tenuto mamma mi ma to che scame. Nella tavola couch, che sta pensando cosa va couch, cavolo art, che sta pensando cosa ma art.
Kere muni na hadisa yo mungu koshi ya vizwa papa shikongeni kwa Katutura Community Arts Center.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud. So
Not fraud, it's a scandal.
Scandal.
Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person that does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura menace.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off if it is needed to do.
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
My response in terms of Rwanda at 6% is that we had been there before. We've had 6% growth before. It's not something that Namibia has not achieved in the past, and it's not something Namibia will not be able to achieve in the future.
Eagle FM, the eye.
Lipuranengelo wapumbwa eva tere ulikoni maondo tuto ingida ashike kapeno nweku tite opoye ekukulile oshafafana nongeshe faili mehola mo iho etike kovano ile koshiwana onongeshe fa yapumbwa kukaraya kovano okupitiramo Eagle FM otuna ebitoda njuka okukwetera oipindi konu konda doili nawa nuneudo otukwetera o special ngetashake ngeshefa omarudi dayo loka opone ushendi fenawa nokumona oijamoili nawa ningepata fanona monika ko Eagle FM onora etatu imwe mbali heali nola natu heali mbali no heali ile komberewa nora hetatu natu mbali o hetatu batatu o mafelane Eagle FM the eye.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud. So
Not fraud, it's a scandal.
Scandal.
Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person that does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura menace.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off if it is needed to do.
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
My response in terms of Rwanda at 6% is that we had been there before. We've had 6% growth before. It's not something that Namibia has not achieved in the past, and it's not something Namibia will not be able to achieve in the future.
Eagle FM, the eye.
The views and opinions expressed by our guests and callers are not those of Eagle FM and any
While you are busy
staff.
enjoying your lunch, while you are busy having some times from 1300 hours, take time and listen to OTR News Bulletin.
On the Radio News Analysis, we go beyond the headlines. We don't just tell you what's happening. We ask why it's happening, how it affects ordinary Namibians, and what it means for the country's future. We examine the structures behind news, connect policy to people's lived realities, and bring in expert voices to make sense of where Namibia is heading.
You want to get into touch with global governance, global diplomacy, economic relation, trade, statistics, human and infrastructure development, and you want to see how policy planning and policy implementation is connected in Namibia, make time and listen to OTR from 1300 hours to 1430. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Radar News Bulletin. It's 7 minutes past the hour of 1 with me, David Shombe. This is the platform that we give you what is happening around the country, what is happening in the region of SADC, what is happening in the continent of Africa, and indeed what is happening at an international forum. We are greeting you from your number one favorite talk radio station, Eagle FM Namibia. We are greeting policymakers, economists, trade analysts, and everybody who is interested in Namibia bread and butter issue, especially when it comes to the affairs of economy and also the affairs of human development. Today, we have two main conversations. The first one, we'll be able to look at the engagement with the head of Center of Curriculum Development and Innovation from Welwitschia University, that is Dr. Etona Simon, especially to speak about artificial intelligence at work and how to transform artificial intelligence and also shape the future. From there, we'll look at the recently concluded Mining Expo, the 13th Mining Expo 2026, that was concluded yesterday, especially to look at what is happening, especially regarding entrepreneurs in Namibia. What is the role of young people? What is the role of entrepreneurs in the mining sector? How can financial institution assist entrepreneurs to partake in a highly capital intensive sector? And also to look at that context, we'll be joined by Norman Deuyeka, who is an entrepreneur, and will be able to join us from 13:30 there. From there, we'll be able to reflect of what have happened yesterday, especially regarding engagement of CEO of public enterprise with the president, especially what the president of the Republic of Namibia has to say in addressing the CEO, chief executive officers, accounting officers, managing directors, and captains of industry, especially looking at the public sector and what the president of the Republic of Namibia has to say regarding implementation of NDP 6 and also what need to be done, especially to the corporate leaders in public sector businesses. From there, we'll look at Zambia. It's indicated that looking at Zambia, general elections is around the corner, especially looking at presidential candidates where you have H.H. Hakainde Hichilema, the president of Zambia, who is faced with more than 3 presidential candidates, especially to look at the position of the head of the state of Zambia. For now, let us come back shortly, but it's also quite interesting to look at the aspect of continental affairs and also what is happening in the international financial market, either in terms of how our currency is trading, and also to look at the top traded commodities as we are speaking now, and also at what rate, and also how can we engage into that aspect, particularly looking at where we are. So let's come back shortly. We are here until 1400 hours.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud. So
Not fraud, it's a scandal.
Scandal.
Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person that does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura manners.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off if it is needed to do.
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
My response in terms of Rwanda at 6% is that we had been there before. We've had 6% growth before. It's not something that Namibia has not achieved in the past, and it's not something that Namibia will not be able to achieve in the future.
Eagle FM, the eye.
lipuranengeno wapumbwa eva tere ulikoni maondo tutoingida ashike kapeno nweko tite opoye ekukulile oshafafana nongeshe faili meholamo ihoetike kovano ile koshiwana onongeshe fa yapumbwa kukaraya kovano okupitiramo Eagle FM otuna ebitoda njuka okukwetera oipindi konu kondadoi nawa nuneudo otukwetera o special ngetashake ngeshe fa omarudi dayo loka opone ushendi fenawa nokumona oijamwili nawa ningepata fanona monika ko Eagle FM onora itatu imwe mbali heali nola natu heali mbali no heali ile komberewa nora hetatu natu mbali o hetatu batatu o mafelane Eagle FM the eye.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud. So
Not fraud, it's a scandal.
Scandal.
Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person that does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura manners.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off if it is needed to do.
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
My response in terms of Rwanda at 6% is that we had been there before. We've had 6% growth before. It's not something that Namibia has not achieved in the past, and it's not something that Namibia will not be able to achieve in the future.
Eagle FM,
The views and opinions expressed by our guests and callers are not those of Eagle FM and any
While
of
you are
its
busy
staff.
enjoying your lunch, while you are busy having some times from 1300 hours, take time and listen to OTR News Bulletin.
On the Radar News Analysis, we go beyond the headlines. We don't just tell you what's happening, we ask why it's happening, how it affects ordinary Namibians, and what it means for the country's future. We examine the structures behind news, connect policy to people's lived realities, and bring in expert voices to make sense of where Namibia is heading.
You want to get into touch with global governance, global diplomacy, economic relation, trade, statistics, human and infrastructure development, and you want to see how policy planning and policy implementation is connected in Namibia. Make time and listen to OTR from 1300 hours to 14:30 with Happy Juice.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud. So
Not fraud, it's a scandal.
Scandal.
Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person that does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura manners.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off if it is needed to do.
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
My response in terms of Rwanda at 6% is that we had been there before. We've had 6% growth before. It's not something that Namibia has not achieved in the past, and it's not something Namibia will not be able to achieve in the future.
Eagle FM, the eye.
Yeah, we are moving forward with On the Radar News Bulletin with me, Devin Shombe. As I indicated, we are in communication with Head of Center of Curriculum Development and Innovation from Belvichia University, that is Dr. Ituna Simon, especially to engage us regarding the aspect of artificial intelligence and also what is the necessity looking at artificial intelligence and also transformation of artificial intelligence, especially at workplace. Dr. Ituna Simon, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on the Radar.
Good afternoon, and thank you once again to Eagle FM for the opportunity to engage with our listeners.
Yes, it's quite good to have you. Let's start with it, especially to look at the context of artificial intelligence and also the transformation of the working sector. When we look at the Villager newspaper for today, especially at our innovation corner, page 9, where there is an article that is looking at AI at work, transforming sectors that shape our future. Maybe just to start with, what is the link between new development in artificial intelligence and also the working environment? Then we can contextualize it to Namibia. Hello?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, artificial intelligence, that is AI, is often portrayed as something futuristic, as in robots, automation, and machines replacing people. But for Namibia, the real value of AI is much simpler. It is about helping a nurse diagnose patients sooner, supporting a farmer to make better planting decisions, assisting teachers to identify struggling learners earlier, and improving the efficiency of public services. So AI is not about replacing people, it is about empowering people and solving practical problems.
Yeah, you spoke about looking at the aspect of solving practical problems. Let's look at, for example, in the health sector. How can AI being used in the health sector, especially looking at the rural areas? At one point, there was a communication from the Minister of Health when he was speaking about AI, ambulance, and all these things. But let's start with artificial intelligence and also health sector, especially looking at the developing communities.
Good. Think about someone living hundreds of kilometers from a major medical center.
Yeah.
Accessing specialized healthcare can require travel, money, accommodation, and time away from work or family.
Yeah.
Now, imagine a nurse or general practitioner at a rural facility having access to secure AI-supported diagnostic system, it could analyze relevant clinical information and flag that a patient may require urgent specialist attention. So the technology has not replaced the doctor in this scenario. It has helped the frontline health worker recognize a potential serious case earlier. This could be particularly useful in remote communities where distance itself becomes part of healthcare challenge. Imagine I'm coming from Ehafo, for example, Ehafo village in Okongo. So instead of asking whether AI can replace doctors, we should ask whether it can help doctors and nurses we already have to reach and support more people. So patient information is extremely sensitive, so privacy, cyber security issues of accuracy and human oversight, this must be built into these systems from the beginning. So in healthcare, in a country where some patients, I gave you a practical example of a villager, myself, in a Ehafo village, and I need to seek medical attention. So imagine I have to travel long distance to access specialty care or AI-supported diagnostic and triage tools that can extend to reach a care expertise. So a nurse or a general practitioner in a remote facility could receive decisions. So we don't need to go to Okongo, for example. We can already have a nurse in Ehafo, all right, Ehafo village, to support, help us also identify cases requiring agent referral. So the health professional remains responsible for the clinical decision. AI only comes in to strengthen the information available to that professional.
No, it's a good thing that you brought up, especially looking at the medical aspect, because we have seen in a lot of cases somebody is referred maybe from Tsumeb to come to Windhoek, but just to see a doctor, but the doctor realized that it's not even something that is of urgent attention, just based on the information that the person was getting from there. I think it's a very good thing that you brought it up, especially looking at artificial intelligence. Now in terms of that, somebody may also ask to say, in this context, do we only mean artificial intelligence in terms of the system, or we also look at other additional tools also that can assist nurses?
There's other tools, like, for example, if you think of tools that does the diagnostic, the records, because patient information is all about diagnosis. It's all about the record keeping of that patient information. You need to know what is the history. So there's so many tools that can assist nurses in the hospital. So you need to think about a community that is, like I say, far from major referral hospitals. So the value is not a robot replacing a doctor here. It is a technology helping the existing health workforce to identify risk earlier and to connect patients to the right level of care sooner. So that is what we are talking about. So AI shouldn't replace the nurse in this context. In the rural clinic, for example, it should put more knowledge within that nurse's reach.
It's a good thing that you brought that aspect. Let's look at academic. Let's look at education, especially looking at artificial intelligence and also addressing the challenges in education. After COVID-19, when AI started being used, it brought a lot of problems at university level. Professors started seeing students getting A stars. They don't know where these things are coming from, and all this aspect. Now they have been debated. There are those who say no, we are remaining with our traditional way of lecturing or doing research. Some are saying, no, let's use AI to assist us. Now, can AI really address challenges in education, and how?
Confidently, I would say yes.
Yeah.
But we should start with the teacher. Okay?
Yeah.
Imagine teaching a large class.
Yeah.
Some learners understand a concept immediately, others don't.
Yeah.
In a busy classroom, the extent of those learning gaps may only become clear during formal assessment. So an adaptive digital learning system could help identify patterns, and alert the teacher that certain learners repeatedly struggle with a particular concept, for example. So that will allow earlier intervention, because that is what is most important in education. And AI hasn't really replaced the teacher per se. The teacher still motivates. The teacher understands the learner's circumstances. The teacher builds the relationships and guides development. Technology simply gives the teacher another pair of eyes. You see? So we must also confront the access question. So here is the access question that we need to confront. So if we talk about AI-powered education, while some schools still struggle with connectivity, devices or other basic resources, technology would widen inequality. So digital transformation, therefore, has to include infrastructure, teacher development, and equitable access.
Now there is something that I also want you to look at. There was a point where the UNSG spoke about AI, and also in an education sector. The only question which is coming up is that where do we draw the line between the automated intelligence and also human intelligence? Because it's like they make things easier, but some people are also saying it also make you lazy. How do I balance that to realize to say I use artificial intelligence so that my learners or my child can learn very fast, at the same time my learner or my child can also be able to think on his own?
So you see the important distinction here. We are saying that AI should augment professional judgment, so not replace the teacher. Teachers provide context, they provide values, empathy, and human relationships, those elements. So that technology cannot substitute. It can never. Here, what we are saying is that AI can help teachers identify learning gaps earlier, generate differentiated learning activities, support feedback, and analyze patterns in learner performance. This is particularly relevant where classrooms are large and teachers cannot always provide individualized attention to every learner. So AI is coming in as an assistant here, not to replace the teacher. The teacher will still be there to take charge of that classroom. So AI in education shouldn't create a smarter elite, but we are saying that it should help us build a stronger education system for everyone.
Okay, now let's look at the agriculture sector. I don't want you to touch on the aspect of, there was something which was happening in a Namibian context where there was a certain company that won a tender within the Ministry of Agriculture. But up to now, they still, I don't want you to go to that aspect, because there is a lot of question. I want you to, from where you are standing as somebody who is in that field, what opportunity does AI offer to Namibian agriculture sector? Because people say that, yes, there is an advantage, but we want to see that in where you are understanding. I don't want you to comment on the other aspect, but let's look at agriculture in general. If we use AI in agriculture, how is it going to assist us? And can my grandmother, who is at the north, really be able to use artificial intelligence so that she can compete with others? Because my grandmother always have this thing to say, no, I want to have better yield of mahango than Memenakasore on this side. They are in competition when they go to the pension. But I want you to get into that context to say, how can we do that with AI?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so humbled by this question, because I was actually thinking about it and I was so tempted to make a comment, but thank you for the guidance. So agriculture, it's very humbling to even speak about agriculture, because we are talking about food security.
Sorry, just hold on for a commercial break. Just hold on. Stay on the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get to USave today, where every penny counts. Get 1 liter of Clover Long Life custard, just $29.99 Namibian dollars. 1 kilogram tub of everyday yogurt, just $39.99 Namibian dollars. Get 2 kilos of Num Milk Omaere, just $52.99 Namibian dollars. Get 125 grams of Clue of coffee, just $20.99 Namibian dollars. 750 grams of Cremora Creamer, just $58.99 Namibian dollars. Discounted prices on Rhodes Tin Food and Polonies too. USave, the low budget grocery store where good food costs less.
Eagle FM lets you express.
Yeah, we are moving forward. We are on the line with Dr. Etona Simon from Vervicha University to look at artificial intelligence. Yes, Doc, we were at agriculture sector. Can you proceed?
Yes, I was speaking about food security here. So I'm looking at agriculture to say that it's one of the areas where Namibia should pay serious attention. So I'm getting shivers as I'm speaking about this. Farmers, I'm trying now to put into the context of, I'm imagining now your grandmother in the village. So as a farmer, they make decisions under enormous uncertainty, when the rains will come, when will it come, how much rain will fall. And surprisingly, they always know how to do these things. When to plant, they always know when to do that and how to manage livestock and how to use the scarce of water. We don't really have a lot of water. And technology cannot make rainfall. Enough. I always tell people, technology cannot make rainfall, but better information can help farmers make better decisions with the resources available. So in terms of weather information, satellite observations, historical rainfall patterns, and soil data that can be analyzed to identify those patterns and then support planting as well as irrigation, crop and livestock decisions that they are taking. So in terms of them making better decisions, I'm looking at if they are employing technology now, if we have to employ technology, because what is important before that, we are saying that technology without public understanding, so we need to make them understand, right? Because it can easily create fear. Our responsibility is therefore not only to introduce technology, but to explain it, govern it, and ensure Namibians benefit from it. So I need to come to the village, make those advocacy and create awareness and explain how it can assist these farmers to make decisions in terms of early drought and rainfall risk warnings, crop health, and vegetation monitoring using satellite image, and also maybe soil moisture. There's so many things, you understand, grazing, production, forecasting, and so forth. So creating awareness first to eliminate the fear from the public. I
want you to maybe to look at just a little bit, because there is a bit of a fear. You are an expert in the area. There is a bit of a fear, especially looking at AI usage in agriculture, and also the tools that we are using. How do we make sure that we don't compromise our data and we benefit from AI, especially looking at agriculture? Because if somebody is using imagery, also mapping where I'm putting my tractors, how big is my land, and all this aspect. But in terms of data protection, how can we make sure that we don't compromise on that?
Okay, well, we shouldn't fear agricultural technology. We should negotiate from a position that protects Namibian farmers, Namibian data, Namibian interests. So, as I mentioned in our previous engagement, I indicated that we need to ask stronger questions such as who owns the agricultural data? Where is it stored? Who has access? What are Namibian farmers benefiting? Are Namibian researchers involved? Is the skills transferred to that Namibians can eventually operate, adapt, and develop these technologies themselves? These are legitimate questions of national interest and technological sovereignty. So we should really scrutinize these partnerships, not automatically reject them, of course. We need to ask who owns the data, how it is protected, and what Namibia gains, and whether local capacity is being built. So it's very important to consider that.
Thank you for clarifying that, especially when it comes to asking very difficult questions that can also help us. Now let's move to water management. they are always proposal of a lot of projects. There are also projects that we are planning to take water from underground, Hangwena region, underground aquifer, and there was a but a project that brought criticism. People want to take water from Kavango to come to the center regions, but there is always an advantage of artificial intelligence. But in terms of water now, how can artificial intelligence assist us, especially in terms of water management?
Awesome. You see, in Namibia, water is not simply an environmental issue.
Yeah.
It is an economic and development issue.
Yeah.
Imagine a municipality managing a large water network. Somewhere underground, a leak develops. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
Conventional monitoring may identify the problem only after significant water has been lost.
Yeah.
This is a case that is mostly happening even here in Windhoek. You find out that people are paying so much water bills because there was a leak underground that was not detected earlier. So smart monitoring can analyze pressure, flow, and consumption patterns and flag unusual behavior earlier, allowing technicians to investigate. So here, AI can also help focus demand by analyzing historical consumption patterns and other relevant information. So it does not replace sound water governance. It gives decision makers stronger and more timely evidence.
Indeed.
So AI cannot create water, but it can help us manage every drop more intelligently. Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at other sectors. Before we look at universities, what other sectors do you really think can be supported by artificial intelligence and can benefit from that?
I'm thinking about mining, finance, tourism. Let me think of like in terms of public. Let's start with public services.
Yeah.
Public services. It's really something that is affecting almost every one of us.
Yeah.
That can benefit where we can actually benefit from this, where technology helps institutions process information and respond more efficiently to citizens. Efficiency in terms of service delivery, repetitive administrative processes that can be supported digitally so that public servants have more time for cases requiring human judgment. That is more on public services. And in terms of mining is also of utmost importance here. So sensors and predictive systems can monitor machinery and working conditions. So patterns may indicate that equipment needs maintenance before failure occurs. So supporting both productivity and worker safety. So we need to employ that in our mining sector. And then in terms of financial institutions, we can use AI to identify unusual transactions patterns and strengthen fraud detection. So this principle should remain simple. AI should not be introduced merely because it is fashionable. There should be a clearly defined problem and a meaningful, measurable benefit.
No, it's a good thing that you brought the aspect of public service delivery. Yesterday I was watching the president addressing the public sector, public enterprise CEO, and she told them that she's going to be a very disruptive president if they are not
I thought like that, and
if they are not delivering. And I think with assistance of AI, I think she will really work to. She will really get what she wants, especially when you speak about public service delivery. That is really something that I think I should comment on. Now, let us look at before we look at the risk and the responsibility. Let us look at the roles of university. There is always something that is coming into my mind to say the world is moving very fast, but a Namibian academic institution keeping up with time. By the time you are done with a degree in mechanical engineering, there is another degree which is needed in actuarial science. Then you have AI honors degree, because things are moving very fast. But there is always a question to say, in this changing world, especially with AI, what role should university play in preparing Namibian for AI-enabled future?
You see, universities have a major responsibility because we cannot prepare graduates for yesterday's workplace. You just gave very good practical examples there.
Yeah.
But that does not mean every student suddenly needs to become a programmer. You know?
Yeah.
For example, a nursing student should understand how AI may influence healthcare.
Yeah.
An education student should understand adaptive learning tools. A business student should understand data-informed decision-making. Students who are pursuing a career in agriculture, they should really understand predictive analytics and emerging precision agriculture tools. And then technical graduates like our TVET students, they need to understand automation and intelligence systems. So let me give a very good example, like what we are doing here at Velvicia University.
Yeah.
At our center, the curriculum development and innovation orientation increasingly encourages students across disciplines to see AI as a tool relevant to the professions and communities they will serve. So that is what we advocate for. So our graduates should be able to use technology critically, ethically, and creatively.
Yeah. Let's close with the danger. There is always problems with any innovation. There are always problems. There are always a risk, but they are saying we should not fear risk. We must look at our responsibilities and what we need to do. Now, in terms of artificial intelligence, what risk are associated with AI, and also what are some of the responsibilities that Namibians should consider, especially in utilization of artificial intelligence systems, robots, and new programs?
Yeah, that is really very important. We should not pretend that every AI application is automatically good.
Yeah.
These days, everyone, when we talk about AI, people immediately think about ChatGPT, for example, right?
Yeah.
People understand it like this. So AI can be wrong,
Yeah.
I gave an example of ChatGPT because those people who don't really analyze content of ChatGPT, they will end up spreading wrong information at times. So it can reproduce bias. Personal information can be misused. People can become too dependent. Many people are so much dependent on AI as well, on automated recommendations, and unequal access could deepen what we call existing inequalities. We already have that as a challenge. It could deepen that. And there is also a broader data question. That is the question that we all ask. AI systems depend heavily on data. They need data. That's why when we are talking about AI development, we need to feed that AI system with our own data. Let's talk about Namibian context, for example. So we need to adopt these technologies. We should ask who collects our data before we even just adopt what was produced elsewhere. If you remember our previous talk.
Yeah.
Where is it stored? Who can access it? How is it used? Whether Namibians benefit from the value created from it. So these concerns are not reasons to reject technology, of course. I'm now moving towards responsibility. They are actually, they are reasons to govern it properly. We need to govern it. So we are responsible AI requires privacy. We need to ensure privacy, data protection. That is where our responsibilities now comes in. Transparency, fairness, accountability, human oversight, and meaningful inclusion of communities. So we are responsible to ensure that,
Indeed. I think it's a good thing that you brought about because... Hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. It's a good thing that you brought about because when you said AI can be wrong, there's also sometimes where you are searching something, but when you confirm it's not really making that good sense. But just stay on the line so we can give you an opportunity to conclude.
Do you need toiletries and household cleaners? You won't get it cheaper than at USave up to the 7th of June. Get 2 50mm jars of Vaseline for only 25 Namibian dollars. Smell fresh with Playboy Roll-On Deodorant for just 18.99 Namibian dollars. Get 2 kilograms of Surf's hand washing powder for just 49.99 Namibian dollars. Get 750ml Sunlight dishwashing liquid for 28.99 Namibian dollars. And get 2 boxes of Cares Maxi sanitary pads for only 12.99 Namibian dollars. USave, where else?
The view.
Yeah, Dr. Tuna Simon, just last words, especially to the young people, to those captains of industry. I know the CEO of Public Enterprise, they were told enough yesterday, but just to look at what do we need to prioritize, and also maybe something that you really think should not go untouched, especially looking at new development of AI. We are already in it. We are not going back. But what else can we do, especially in this context?
Thank you. The future of AI is not about smarter machines. It is about creating smarter solutions for people. This is now to our, people in the community, our leaders out there. So when AI helps a teacher reach a learner, a health worker save a patient sooner, or a farmer make a better decision, that is when technology truly saves Namibia. So I don't think Namibia should measure its AI progress by how many sophisticated systems we can say we have. Let's measure it differently. Did a patient receive attention sooner? That is now what we need to ask. Did a farmer make a better decision? Did a teacher identify struggling learner before that learner was left behind? Did a public institution serve citizens more efficiently? If technology helps us achieve those things, then we are talking about AI that matters. The question for Namibia is no longer simply whether AI is coming. It's already here. So the question is whether we will shape it around our needs, our people, and the Namibia we want to build. So to the young people, we have young innovators. I forgot to mention that to you. So what I'm saying to our young innovators, I just want to tell them five important things. Don't start with the technology. Start with the Namibian problem you are trying to solve. First, identify that problem. AI should support human judgment, not remove human responsibility. And number 3, innovation that only works in Windhoek isn't yet a Namibian solution. Let's, take it across our country. We don't only need AI graduates, we need AI-ready professionals across every sector. And the real measure of AI isn't technological sophistication, it's whether people's lives and services actually improve.
Indeed. Okay, I cannot overemphasize that. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, and shout out to all our listeners.
Indeed. Thank you. Yeah, that is Dr. Tuna Simon, especially from Bevisha University, looking at the importance of AI at transforming the sector of working environment. So we are into a short commercial break. We'll be joined by an entrepreneur, that is Norman Deuyeka, especially to give us context of young people in the mining sector.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud. So
not fraud, it's a scandal.
Scandal.
Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person that does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura menace.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off if it is needed to do.
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
My response in terms of Rwanda at 6% is that we had been there before. We've had 6% growth before. It's not something that Namibia has not achieved in the past, and it's not something Namibia will not be able to achieve in the future.
Eagle FM, the eye.
Lipuranengeno wapumbwa Eva tere ulikoni maondo tutoingida ashike kapeno nweko dite opoye ekukulile. Oshafafana nongeshe faili meholamo ihoetike kovano ile koshiwana. Onongeshe fa yapumbwa kukaraya kovano. Okupitiramo Eagle FM otuna ebitoda njuka okukwetera oipindi konu kondado nawa noneudo otukwetera o special ngetashake ngeshefa omarudi dayoloka opone ushendi fenawa nokumona oijamo ili nawa ningepata fanona monika ko Eagle FM onora etatu imwe mbali heali nola natu heali mbali no heali ile ko mberewa nora hetatu natu mbali o hetatu batatu o mafelane Eagle FM the eye.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud.
Not fraud, it's a scandal.
Scandal.
Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person who does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura manners.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off if it is needed to do.
Be part of the debate by setting the agenda.
My response in terms of Rwanda at 6% is that we had been there before. We've had 6% growth before. It's not something that Namibia has not achieved in the past, and it's not something that Namibia will not be able to achieve in the future.
Eagle FM, the...
Yeah, we are moving forward with On The Radar News Bulletin. As I indicated, we'll be joined by Norman Deuyeka. He's an entrepreneur, especially just to reflect on the recently concluded Mining Expo, and also to look at the position from young entrepreneurs to say, what role do they have to play in the mining sector, and is the system allowing the young entrepreneur to partake in highly capital-intensive, environment? Norman Deuyeka, thank you for joining us at On The Radar. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, David. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, now it's a good thing that we have you on the line. Let's look at the recently concluded Mining Expo. We have seen a lot of big players in the mining industry. Some are from outside the country, some are from outside the continent. Now, let's look at it from a young person who is doing business in Namibia to say, how can young people partake in the mining sector? And also maybe to follow with another question is also that, does the current environment enable young entrepreneurs to participate in this highly intensive, environment of the mining industry?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, we are fortunate enough to be led by a promising 8th administration under the capable leadership of the Comrade Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, that she had allowed for this youth fund to allow young people to do business, as well as, of course, through DPN, EIF, Agribank, and other banking institutions that are involved in this initiative to allow young people to really tackle the businesses in the country. One of them being the oil and gas, obviously the mining, the creative industry, and the green industry, and so many others that are there for young people to take. So generally, as also for the political stability in our country, the young people, we have that opportunity to do business and thrive. And if you really follow the RMB as well, they are calling on young people to really partake in these big capital projects such as mining. They are ready to assist. DPN equally has an opportunity for young women to take part in business, though they've not specified what type of business, but I truly believe that even if you want to enter the oil industry or the mining industry, they should be able to assist.
Now let us look at the investment part. When you have been operational, you started doing business at a very young age, and although you are still young now, let's look at the financial institution, and let us also look at the environment itself. From where you are standing, are we better positioned to put risk in investing in young people, apart from the initiative of the president and also DBN in general, looking at the banking sector? are we better positioned to take risk and say I'm giving Norman 50 million just because he's young and ambitious and to enter into this industry? Are we there?
Truth of the matter is, and this is the honesty without any reservation.
Yeah.
I don't think the financial sector is 100% ready to give out such huge sums of money.
Yeah.
Given track records of how the first young people have demonstrated money handling when it comes to investments and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, from my understanding, and as an individual, I've approached financial institutions as well for project financing, and they will ask you so many questions. They will ask you for an arm and a leg, not because they don't have the finances to assist. It's just because we are not responsible enough to handle such amounts. Because what we the observation is that some of the young entrepreneurs, what we then look at first before investing into the business is living the luxury life of looking like you are an established business individual rather than doing the real investment into the business and reap the fruits later. So as it stands, there is a little bit reluctance from the financial institution, though with the involvement now of Nasria to offer 60% of collateral as per the agreement with government. Yeah, there's a little bit of relaxed lending criteria or relaxed requirements for young people to be given the opportunity to lend and borrow money from these institutions. But what is important, we just really need to, as young people, to demonstrate that the colleagues that came before us, that they have squandered, that have shown the manner of irresponsible spending and not investing in the projects that they have borrowed money for intended purposes. We are a different generation. We are inspired. We want to grow. We are now exposed to technology, and we are seeing how other people are doing it elsewhere. So I think the current crop of the youth, we are ready to move forward. Should there be an opportunity for us to be given an opportunity of 100 million, 50 million, especially if you look at this particular sector of mining, oil and gas, they are very, very expensive sectors. And the reason why most young Namibians have not entered that market is not because they do not want to. It's merely because the equipment is expensive, the licensing is expensive, they're traveling to meet the right partners because we lack technical expertise in that field. It's also expensive to meet people in Qatar, in Canada, or the colleagues of Anglo America and whatnot to really come on board. So sometimes, as the person looking for investors, you have to travel to them, pitch and invite them to Namibia. And when they are invited to Namibia, at times you are inviting them at your cost, so you ought to host them. So it's a very expensive exercise, and we do not have that type of money. That's why we are now reduced to these small businesses, even though our minds and the ideas, they are quite big and huge. But with the intervention of government and the private sector, I think we are on the right track to secure these investments.
No, it's a very good thing that you brought about the reputation of those who were there before us, and now, and in this effect of looking at the amount of money and also the capital that is needed to partake in that. Now, maybe what can we do to instill or to bring about that confidence again, to say we are young people are a different generation? Is it collaboration a factor, or we need other things again to convince this financial institution to say we understand what happened, this is what we need to, especially to move forward?
Yes, personally, I just genuinely feel, number one, we need to to invest in ourselves as young entrepreneurs by upgrading the skills that we have. By that I mean that we need to begin understanding our own business plans. Just don't hire a consultant to drop a business plan for you and you go submit it for financing. We need to be directly involved in the drafting of our own business plan, because that is the plan, that is the roadmap guiding you or guiding us to the success of the businesses that we are trying to establish. That is one. So once we have a clear understanding of the business proposal or plan that we are submitting to the financial institutions for funding, we understand it word for word, black and white and in practice. Because when you fully understand that, it then informs your financial handling of the resource or the resources that you are looking for. You then begin to develop a very strong mindset and responsible mindset to say, should from this 10,000 that I have borrowed, should I use a fraction of it for personal expenditure? That means I'm not going to fulfill my business plan. So if we are to invest in extra skills of understanding the business plans and proposals, that is going to be one of the guiding factors in restoring confidence in the financial institutions in investing in us. Number two, we need to begin to develop or to build proper credit scores that allows for the financial institutions, especially for existing businesses. We need to have a track record of our expenditure in terms of businesses. How is the money coming in? How is it coming out? Are you paying your taxes? Are you paying your suppliers? Do you have existing accounts that you get material from a certain supplier? Are you paying on time? Things like that. Only when we demonstrate correct financial scoring, then we're able to show the financial institution that yes, our business ideas are bankable. They are worth investing in whatever amount of money.
Indeed.
And yes, sir.
Yeah. It's a good thing that you brought about that. Maybe just to look at time, let's look at the last question, especially the advice to young businesses. When it comes to energy sector, either it's mining, you find really people that get an opportunity, but there are also records of some people got an opportunity, they start, instead of operating, they start selling these licenses, or maybe just operate for 1 year, then you realize to say, no, December we are going out, we are coming back in July, and start dancing. But what is your advice you have, especially young entrepreneur? You have those lucky one who have their innovative ideas funded, but they don't go for long. What is your advice in terms of that, especially to maintain the sustainability of their institutions?
Thank you. Importantly, I should thank RMB and other partners looking at this mining expo that concluded yesterday, to say expos and network platforms like that really expose young people to better and further opportunities. Now, I'm trying now to answer or correct that context of lucky, because I don't believe anybody is lucky. You're just at the right place at the right time because you took the initiative. So, especially for people that had attended this free expo, really there was information in abundance. You meet the industry players, you meet the speakers. There were over 6,000 exhibitors in attendance and all that. So for those now that were fortunate enough to be the ones that are among the first take of getting the mining licenses, for instance, or the drilling licenses, you extend it to the fishing quotas and so on and so forth. What's important is the reinvestment into the businesses that we're operating in. So once you have them net profit from the license, perhaps say for you have partnered now with an outside investor. The fruits that you are reaping Try and reinvest in the business and call other young people to partner to say, there's this opportunity. How best do we go forward? Now, industries like the mining industry, they are broad. Not all of us are going to directly be extracting gold or diamonds or any other minerals. What we can look at some of the businesses is to create smaller businesses that complement the industry. Businesses like branding, businesses like catering, transport, maintenance, safety equipment, and also, if you can, to find a way to lease out operating equipment, or for our mechanical engineers, maybe come together, create a consortium, and sell your services to say, we are able to service your machine, the hydraulic machines and whatnot, to supplement the mining industry. So that is then by when whoever gets there first, try and reinvest and invite other young people to join. Because I'm not into mining does not mean I cannot participate. Call me, I'm in transport. I'm able to complement the industry.
Yes, Nomen Ndeweka, thank you for your time, and thank you for that input.
No, thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity, and please extend the same gesture to other entrepreneurs. Would like to hear from others and also to share ideas.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Indeed. Yeah, that is Nomen Ndeweka, an entrepreneur, and also to look at what can we do, especially looking at the sector. So, dear listeners, it's 4 minutes past the hour of 2, and that mark the end of On The Radar News Bulletin. From me, David Shombe, bye-bye for now. See you around, and enjoy your Friday.
Eagle FM lets you express your constitutional rights of freedom of expression without fear of favor.
This is actually, to put it mildly, an economic scandal.
Fraud.
Not fraud, it's a scandal. Why do you give a tender to somebody who does not have capacity to build? Why should you do that? You know a person that does not have a capacity to build.
Eagle FM lets you talk.
That's why I'm always telling people in Parliament, let me not take up my Katatura manners.
Right.
Because I grew up in Katatura. And I will not hesitate to tell you off